Hey everybody, welcome to Taystock 2021. And this is our series of interviews with our community collaborators. I want to introduce a man that is no stranger to our program. He's come here, been a big support for us, for our youth, for our program. Is William Correa from HNDP. So William,
Yeah, what's up? What's
man.
up? How you doing? How you doing? Man, it's a
Good.
pleasure to be here. Pleasure to be here.
It's good seeing you again, man, under the circumstances. I wish you could be here in person, but you know how it
Yeah,
is.
I know, but it's we're adjusting. We got to adapt. But it's a blessing to be able to have Zoom and be able to still be able to make that connect. So we're here. We're here.
Yeah, it's been a long road, man. I know your program, our program, it's
Yeah.
gone through, it's had to adapt, it's through some hard times, but I know you said earlier you're open, your doors are open, you had your open house,
Mhm.
you're welcoming youth back into the premises and everything. So I just wanted to give you a chance, if you could, just tell a little bit about your program and what services you offer to youth.
Okay, so our program is called Heart in the Paint. It's an entertainment industry creative expression program, right? But it has a foundation on transformation. So we know that our communities, when we're dealing with humble beginnings, there's certain traumas that we sometimes carry on with us, right? And the goal for our program is to allow people that have things that they want to get out, like say anxieties, whatever it is, just give them a opportunity to creatively express themselves. So we have studio workshops where they're able to come in and work on beats and create music organically. We have recording workshops. We have breakdancing workshops. We have mentorship workshops where people that are interested in being entrepreneurs could go through a series of workshops where they're able to understand how to launch their business and understand how to market their business to the public for awareness, create profit for themselves. The goal is ownership, giving everyone a head start to catch up to the dreams that they say, oh, I'm kind of behind at chasing, and we're a community of creative professionals that come through and share our stories as well. So in the past, we started off an open mic in the middle of East LA on Cesar Chavez Engage with Self-Help Graphics. And we will open the doors and have tables for people to do art, live silk screening going on, us, performing on stage, live music, dancing going on. So that whole kind of platform and collective creative expression effort, that's truly what we provide. And it's really hands-on. So all of our participants get an opportunity to learn how to run the studio, learn how to, open and close the whole scene, that whole thing. And it creates a leadership opportunity that they're able to, hey, like, this is our workshop, this is what we're doing. And the goal is we have them create a project. So whether it be, hey, I want to create a fashion line, or I want to create an album, or whatever it is, we have them work on their individual projects. And then over the course of like 12 weeks, we then work on showcasing that at an open house, like an opening or something to that nature, where they're able to come and talk about their project. If they're performing, they perform, and invite all of their close family and friends to really get that support.
Yeah, you touched on a couple of things that I think definitely would appeal to our clients, whether they know it or not. Because I know you guys are really active, like on your social media. I've seen when you have like your events, breakdancing, things like that. So it's really showcased out there. But I remember something that you had brought up with our clients when you did your first, chat here was, it's the creativity that they have. That's great, but the entrepreneurship side, the owning it part of it, that's another really important part that I think a lot of artists in general don't think about, because they know that I have the skills, but someone has to see all that. It has to be put together in a presentable package. Can you kind of elaborate on that?
Yes, well, as an artist, we're really creative minded. I want to create the art. So if it's music, I want to create the song. And then after I create the song, we just hope that it just goes and explodes and people hear it. And we don't understand that there is a process. There's a business behind making a project come to fruition and get get the light of day. So from copywriting, publishing, working on your business plan, understanding your SWOT analysis, the strengths, the weaknesses, the opportunities, learning about merchandising, learning about touring and how to send out a press release and how to really market and advertise your project after you've created it is really like how people become successful. That separates all the artists from each other, so to walk people through that is really beautiful because they're focused around their creative expression first. And the marketing and understanding the business side, it's really like teaching someone how to fish. So like the next time they get an idea, they're going to already understand the structure on how to get that idea out and be able to benefit and own that idea, protect their idea, and know how to sit at the table and negotiate at like on a business professional level.
Yeah, no, for sure. I remember the comparison. I remember when you did your presentation, I immediately thought of was, like right now, there's a lot of like, Hollywood celebrity restaurateurs, but their trade is how to cook really, really well. But then along the way, to make the next step, you got to learn the restaurateur side of it. That usually means, being mentored by someone, or at least bringing on a management team that can do that instead of just being like, well, my food's gonna speak for itself. Well,
Right, you're completely
you
right.
gotta have design the menu, you gotta
Yeah.
have the presentation right, and
Yeah, it's
you
it's
kind
a
of,
whole entertainment thing. It's like if people watch Shark Tank,
yeah,
it takes a lot to get there, and it takes a lot of pre-planning and a lot of preparation and that pre-production process and literally like when it comes down to music, I truly believe that that's one of the missing elements with a lot of our younger generation is like the business side. They love the creative side. They love to want to go perform, but then the business kind of gets shaky. And so that's where our program really comes in, and we help support them on that sides. And it's just beautiful because they feel supported, like if they had a record deal,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
But they also have the independence knowing that they're going to gain ownership and they're going to be entrepreneurs themselves.
yeah. I think right now everything you said is right on. And I think what a lot of younger people don't realize is, they can reach out for help, and there are people like you out there that you're one of your biggest strengths, if you don't mind me saying, is your mentoring ability.
Yeah,
Your ability to teach young people these skills that took you time to learn as well, but you're not selfish about passing that along. And I think sometimes they have to know that I got to leave myself vulnerable by asking for help, but that's not a bad vulnerability, because they got to know that, someone before me did it, and it doesn't make them old or nothing like that, because, but they made it to where they're at, and
no, you're completely right. That's something that we really are passionate about, the mentoring, and it changes the perspective of people's understanding of how they learn.
yeah,
When we introduce our mentorship to them, they realize that we are working for them. Like they now have like an extra component in their brain that they have access to that's full of knowledge, and it's we're trying to empower the boss in them,
yeah,
that like, hey, like you now it's time to delegate, but you're delegating, your business marketing executive level stuff to me. So now I'm helping you with that. So now you are a boss and you now are understanding how to delegate. Yeah, we're going to connect you with the merchandise people so you don't have to do it yourself, but that's what delegation is about,
yeah.
so giving them that opportunity to really freely think and then utilize us as the tools. Now it's time for them to just understand how to sculpt their dreams with these tools.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that's, obviously it isn't learned overnight, but I
Right.
think once they gain knowledge that mentors like you can impart on them, I think it also lets them know, one is, how to be realistic about your goals. Like you said, all the stuff that, like you got to do to start up, the merchandise and promotion, it costs money. You may not see success right away. So you got to be kind of patient with it. But then it also, I think what they can learn from, what you teach them is basically how to advocate for themselves, I think, to know their
Truly,
worth, like you
truly.
said, become a
Yeah,
boss.
it's really about, it's really the self-realization and the empowerment of knowing that you're a professional and being the professional version of yourself, right? Is really like, okay, it's me here. And what's the next level of professionalism that I want to add to me, and how, and and you're the most valuable component to carry that on. And it stays with you for the rest of your life. So the more you add, and the more you develop over time, and you just become that person that you're dreaming of being. And like you said, it doesn't happen overnight. And with the right environment and community, you're going to be just flourishing. It's just like it's like that seed that grows in the concrete or whatnot, and it still reaches up to be a great, amazing rose. It's something exactly like that. And I believe artists or creative people in general, they have a hard time breaking through that concrete sometimes. And so as a community, we really have came together, and we've been doing this since 2009, and we're not just beginning then. We come from the entertainment industry. We're talking about industry professionals that have worked with Disney, worked with Power 106, worked with, like Tupac and people like that. And, we're bringing everybody together to really pass the torch to the next generation. We don't necessarily want our next generation missing out on the ability to creatively express themselves.
Yeah, for
Right?
sure, man. And speaking of next generation, can you share a success story with us that you've had?
Oh, wow. So, all right. So one
I
of
know
our
there's a lot
students,
to choose from.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So let's just say like one of our students, previously, he was behind in high school. So I guess they asked him to leave the previous high school. And so he was going to Five Keys to complete his high school diploma. So imagine he's already aged out of the high school program. Maybe his morale wasn't as ambitious to kind of continue and complete immediately, right? But he was a very real creative. He loved to DJ and make beats at the time. He was in the electronic DJing music. And so they introduced us him to the program. And so we talked, and I was asking him about his goals and things first. Like, that's what we talk about first. Like, what do you want to do? I want to see where they are and then reassess as we move forward, right? So I'm like, hey, what do you want to do? He's like, man, I'm just here to, get my high school diploma. And then after that, I'm just going to work at my parents' shop and, just, that's, and I'm like, dude, you're very creative. I see you DJing, how about you bring your equipment up here, bring it up here, and let me introduce you to the studio. And so we started working, and over the course of weeks, turning into months, he was able to create original projects. Made his own beats in there, mixed them in there, created his music video type of thing. And then we were talking about his business plan. And the business plan didn't include college, right? It just included kind of going back to the shop. And I'm like, okay, well, you're here to become an entrepreneur, to be self-sufficient, be able to create, a pipeline for yourself and your creative art to get out. So let's do this, And so I helped him create his business plan, and we're talking about college. And he's like, no, it's not, I'm not going to college. And my view of college is, besides what you learn, it's one of the greatest networking experiences
Agreed.
for any profession. If you're in the industry, you meet people in college that you're going to kind of see along the way as you grow.
Yep.
And I don't think he understood that, because in high school, you don't necessarily, that's not showcased. You don't we have friends, but you don't know that these are going to be lifelong friends yet. It doesn't click. And I let them know, like, hey, in high school, you're going to be around some of these professionals that are really, really going to be like the next generation of professionals. Like, they're going to school and investing their time into their dreams. And these are entertainment industry dreams. Like, you're doing it on your own without the structure. I said, you might, want to just look in to see if, there's some programs out there. So I kind of planted the seed, and he was like, oh, I don't know. Fast forward a couple of months later, he's close to graduating from Five Keys, getting his high school diploma, and we kind of revisit the conversation. And I'm like, yeah, well, it doesn't hurt to try. And he's like, well, what about the money? I'm like, they got financial aid. They got, how about you just go up here, go into this place, and go tell them exactly what you're telling me right now.
Yeah.
And then follow their lead. When he did that, he ended up getting a scholarship in the music department.
Nice.
He came back to our workshops every day, and his mind changed. His eyes were different. he aspired to do other things. And I was like, whoa, okay. And so now let's work on your merchandise. Let's start doing it. And he ended up now he has 3D printing. He has like t-shirt design, like laser engraving, any type of laminated print, like, you know, like you could get a whole billboard printed with him, and he's really helping other people with their brands and merchandise. But he's a full-fledged entrepreneur working every day on his dreams. And it's something that when I first was introduced to the participant, I couldn't envision what that looked like right yet. I aspire to always inspire someone to chase their dreams, right? But you don't know what those dreams are and what they're gonna like bloom into. And so to see him go from being a high school student, a little bit behind, not knowing what he wanted to do after, to then getting into college, then getting the scholarship, and then becoming a full-fledged entrepreneur, like those are like that's like a trifecta. He just shot a 3-pointer and scored. You know, it wasn't just, you know, one. I got my high school diploma. No, I killed 3 birds with 1 stone, and that's something that the transformational coaching, the mindset, the paradigm shifting, the thought, the shifting of the identity, and the opportunities that one can believe that they have. That's where that magic comes into play. And like for us, that's what we pride ourselves in, is creating those transformational aha moments, so that way they have the ability to think freely and think outside of the box and be able to make a decision that could benefit them, their future, and making sure that the goals are in place so that way they know where they're aiming their decisions towards. You know, they're not just throwing decisions out there.
Yeah, no, I agree with you, because I think another thing is, I think high schools, for example, do the best they can, but they have a structure they have to follow. And my experience has been that people that are more creatively minded, you know, are more like artistic versus like the just color between the lines people, you know, they tend to struggle more with finding direction in a traditional setting.
Right. You're completely right. And for the school system, they took a lot of the arts and things out, and
Yep.
they ended up making them, or bringing in organizations to kind of subsidize that. And a lot of these organizations aren't necessarily focused around the students' interest. They're just kind of like, hey, let's play with clay, or let's paint, or let's make beats. And
Yeah.
really, when you get into the dream work and you're trying to help these kids like invest their time and thought process into their dreams, it's a different conversation than just, hey, this is how you draw, or this is how you rap, you know, or this is how you make
Yeah.
a beat, you know. So I think that for us, we having that transformational coaching, that real that mentorship, personal, that's, I think, is one of the valuable things to have in any type of program, and any type of community, when it comes down to just people trying to grow.
For sure, and I 100% agree. And you know, and that's why I remember, like, God, I think it was like 3 years ago when you and I first met, and I was telling you about, you know, I want to do this thing, Will, called Taystock. I know you're really into music, and because for me, I envision it as something that could be, you know, it's a celebration of our youth, our clients, of course, but it's done through the lens of like art, music, community, you know.
Yeah.
And I mean, here I feel fortunate. I feel really blessed that, for example, we have a team. You know, like we have like our peer specialist Annie, who's really really artistic. She does a lot of the artwork that you see in all of our rooms. Then we have like our employment specialist Daniel, who, you know, he and Annie are both really into music, and you see a lot of playlists on our Spotify. And our clients, they know that, and then they know that they come here there and they see the artwork, and they're already like, okay, this isn't like just this really like, you know, like sterilized, like hospital kind of a setting, you know, with respect to
Right.
hospitals, but there's no blank walls. They all
Right.
got stuff on it. All of my team members, their workstations have art. It's filled with stuff. It isn't just, you know, like you know, like a frame they bought at Marshall's with some inspirational quote. It's something they actually did, you know,
That's
and
beautiful.
the clients know that, and then they feel it's like infectious. You know how it is.
Yeah.
Like then, you know, we have kids who really didn't give much consideration to art, but Annie will say, let's go do a painting group, an impromptu painting group right now, spontaneous. They'll be like, okay. and they'll go and then they'll produce something that's really great, you know, and we're just like, can we take a picture of that? And then when we say that, they're like, I've never had anybody think anything I did was that cool. And then, but it sparks something, you know, and I
Yeah.
think that's the thing I think we're talking about when it's like, if you got to just always paint between the lines, you know, and you're told take algebra 2, take world history. I'm not saying those classes aren't important, but to someone who's really more artistic minded, you know, it can feel like they're just not being offered things that can help them grow. And then when
True.
they see programs like yours, I mean, a lot of times I think maybe they just didn't know it existed, which is why
Yeah,
we're trying to
that's
get the
usually
word
the
out.
case. That's usually the case. And I mean, this before this generation, when they took all the arts programs out of the schools and stuff like that, like when we grew up, there were like teen houses or like, you know, like a
Yeah.
little like we were able to go to the local elementary school and play caroms during the summer
Yep.
and there was they had, you know, had things going on. And when those things got shut down, it kind of made that go underground, made it kind of be a little taboo to really be a creative, you know? So everyone kind of developed their own little circles, and these nonprofits that have creative specialties, they are real niche and they only cater to a small demographic, and sometimes because of the capacity and they don't have the support of a huge national community. Sometimes usually it's just a group of people doing it out of the love of art, and they just want to be able to pass that down. And like we were saying earlier, the business structure, you know, for creatives isn't really there all the time. So it's really kind of a uphill battle to unite on that platform. So we've had to really, I guess, pioneer and be real trailblazers in making sure that we establish that kind of a solid pillar of integrity in that creative community for sure.
Yeah, and that's definitely not, it's definitely something that I want any youth that are watching this video to be able to access. And so can you tell us if there's a youth out there that's interested, how can they link up with you and your
So
programs?
first, they, you know, if they're out there and they're a part of what you guys are doing, they have immediate access. You already know. It's just a phone call away. Feel free to give me a call. Phone number is 323-816-2209. And my phone is available. If I don't pick up, leave a message and I'll respond. Also, they could get in contact with us via email, and they could contact me directly. So William at HNDP.LA. And that's again, William at HNDP.LA. And we're at the Boyle Heights Technology Youth Source Center, which is on 4th and Glass in Boyle Heights. So if they're local, it's right around the corner from the Pico Aliso goal line station. And we're there Monday through Friday, say figure 9 to 5, you know, we're on the premises. We're closing down around 5:30-ish, you know. So but we have full studio and I'm available. So reach out, send an email, send me a text. Like I'm the I'm the point of contact. You know, we have a lot of people, but if you want to get direct contact, and I could give you a whole orientation and really sit with whoever and give them all the information that they need, ask all questions, and really align them with the right mentorship and the right program and resources that we have.
We'll be sure to include your contact info, like you mentioned, you know, in this video and everything too. And one just last question I want to ask you is, what what words of wisdom, what advice would you have for a youth right now who, you know, wants to be, you know, creative, wants to experience that, but is going through some tumultuous times, you know, whether it's experiencing homelessness,
Oh,
not in school right now, maybe, you know, they're in a situation where they feel like it's just hopeless, you know, what would you say to
yeah.
someone like that?
Well, first of all, there's something that we say in success. Um, there's never a setback. Every setback is a set up. Um, the most successful people have actually gone through the hardest times. They're so unique that those issues only happen to them. And a lot of the normal people, they go through the same issues. They have the same problems that everybody else has in their household. Us, people that are going to be dramatically successful, we go through unique problems. We go through hardships, we face adversities, we go through the, I don't have the money, I'm homeless, my family doesn't care, I don't have a family, I just lost my family. We go through all of those things. But one of the things that's blessed, that's into us as being artists and creative, is that we have an outlet for that. Our creative ability to do something that's outside of the box takes that energy and puts it into something that's beautiful that everyone else can share. So our hard times are tools for other people to change their lives. Our hard times are the gifts that we get to receive. Those are the character developing moments that make us who we are. When it comes down to hope, the belief in our ability to move forward every day is something that we have to turn on for ourselves. We have to love ourselves first. There's something about like looking in the mirror and knowing, hey, I'm the only version of me and I'm the best version of me that I could even be, even in the face of all of this stuff that's going on to me that's messed up. It's happening to me, I must be very, very special. So to control the inner dialogue and tell yourself, be your best friend. You're gonna be in that skin for the rest of your life. So kind of be your number one support system. Don't be the person that pulls yourself down. Push yourself up, push yourself up. And if you feel like you're on the floor and you're at the bottom and on the ground level, just down and out, we only could get up from there. We can't fall off the floor. So we're at the best place to start moving forward. So just realize that you are at the most amazing point in time in your life. And then taking that next step, you're going to see that aha and that brightness to show. Face it. We all have to go through it. It's not hard. It's life. We all share it and it happens to us all. So, reach out to people, get your support system, but always stay creative and doodle if you want every now and then.
Yeah, no, those are really, that's really good advice, Will. And I think a lot of our clients, they, like you said, they are experiencing some extreme hardships, but you're right, like there are others that experience it as well, but this gives them this opportunity, and like you said, once you're already on the floor, you can't fall any further. So that's the prime time to start climbing,
Yeah, exactly.
And I think you touched on something else that I hope some people take to heart, and that is, find your support system, whatever that may be. Like I
If
think
you're
it's really
creative,
important.
find other creatives. If
Exactly.
you're in the business, find other business people that are in the business. If it's literally those are the uniting factors, and everyone is going through something. So then that becomes the platform of safety for you to be able to share and be in the right community.
Absolutely. I think, yeah, you nailed it right there. I think creative minded people, they have to seek out in some ways other creative minded people, because if they're creative, but all of their peer group are more analytical people,
Yeah.
they're not in a environment to thrive. And it's not the fault of their friends for not being creative. It's just that they're stunting their own growth in a way.
Yes, it
And
is
I think
very, very true.
programs like yours allow such people, they can be into different kinds of music,
Mhm.
like just because you're into DJing doesn't mean you're into breakdancing, but the key
Exactly.
component is there's that creative element that brings
Yeah.
them together, that
If you
juice.
and even if you're quiet and an introvert and just want to hang around creatives, that's a actual position. Like it's good, that's like you being a supporter, like you could be part of production, you could be part of audience control. Like it's just knowing how to be that person and knowing that creative expression is what you're attracted to, what you're interested in, what you're falling in love with. You're watching people create, that feeds you, and you're able to then take that energy and go do something that you need to do in a creative way. Say some people, like you said, are more analytical, but they need a creative spark as well. So come around the creatives and get that creative energy and then just apply it to your analytical, outlet, and let's go.
Yeah. And as one of the aspects of Taystock is about music, I know before I reached out to you and said, one of the things we want to see if each of our collaborators can do is help us create a playlist. And so you guys be sure to, on the day of Taystock, be sure to check out the playlist for Harden to Paint. Will's going to be sending that over to me. We're going to be doing that. And I just want to say thank you, Will. And, you're a valuable team member to us. We definitely appreciate you. And, I definitely got to get out there and check out your spot again. I know I missed the open
you got to
house.
come out. You got to come out. We got people spinning on their heads on Tuesdays and Thursdays,
Yeah, I think I'm going to have to go out there, bring the camera with me.
Yes.
So tagging you guys in some pictures.
Yes, let's get it. And whenever you need me to come out, let's do some more, outreach, whatever. Let's create some new content. And like everyone who's watching this, we're available. Our doors are open and I'm available. So let's really jump and utilize it. And no question is a bad question. So if you just want to say, hey, what's your story again? Or what's that? Like, just reach out and let's practice real good communication.
Yeah, and I can definitely attest to that for anyone who's listening, who's, thinking of reaching out to Will. Will is a very busy guy, but I can tell you right now, he always gets back to people. Okay, he's out there helping a lot of youth do the very things we've been talking about for the last half hour. But if you reach out to him, it's like you said earlier, leave a message, leave an email. Will get back to you. Because this is something he's very passionate about. Like I hope you get another chance to come out here once everything is more stabilized and we can have visitors and in-person groups. You guys got to hear Will's story. This can't go that long, but I can tell you right now, Will could tell his story and go for an hour, and you're going to be glued to it the whole time. That's what he told me, and I don't want to leave you guys like on a cliffhanger, but I'll say that's one incentive. You reach out to Will and you hear his story, it's really going to blow your mind. What this man has gone through and what's made him who he is today and who he is to you guys. Okay.
Yeah, you guys are not alone. Believe me. You guys are not alone. So thank you very, very much. I appreciate it. And like I said, I'm here. So let me know.
Thank you very much, man. Thank you again for being here. And and you guys check your packages when you come here for Taystock. You're going to have Will's promotional materials, all right, for Harden to Paint. And do check them out on social media. It'll be listed in the description, okay? Yep. All right, Will. Take care, brother.
You got it. Thank you. Talk soon.